Hey everyone, Yura here after a long break. In the last few weeks, some of my clients asked me how do I get such a good tone on my demos, and I decided to make this video to talk about the most important steps you can take to always get a great tone on your demos, no matter the VSTs you are using, be that Neural DSP or any other amp sim. Without further ado, let's jump into our top 5 advices on how to get a great tone consistently.
Number 5.
You better have a good equipment for capturing your audio. The technology is already past the point where you needed to spend the big bucks to get a studio desk or something like that. Now you can actually get a great quality audio with relatively cheap audio interface. If you don't believe me, check out the latest Wage War album. The most obvious choice for an audio interface is a Focusrite 2i4 or similar models in that price range. The only downside for this interface is that the incoming signal is a bit weak and has more high frequencies than, for example, Audient ID14. In the past I had a handful of audio interfaces and I had the ability to compare DIs from Audient and Focusrite, and I would definitely recommend the Audient ID14. Although there is nothing wrong with getting a Focusrite, and I would say if you don't have a big budget but you want to get an audio interface, that would be a great choice. But I hear you saying, what do I look for when I'm buying an interface? Pay attention to the inputs that are used in the interface and pay attention to the converters. For a more in-depth guide on that, you can search videos on YouTube from people who are more knowledgeable in that than me. But even if you compare, for example, Focusrite 2i4 and Audient ID14, you will see the difference in those parameters.
Number 4.
The next important step is to have balanced amp settings for both channels. The rhythm side of your music are drums, bass and guitars meaning left and right channel. You don't record just one guitar and copy paste it. You mimic how two guitarists playing. That means not only that you have to learn to play your parts correctly, but also that two amps should be like pieces of the puzzle and complete each other. For example, your left guitar can have more in highs and mids, and your right guitar can have the opposite. That will help them to blend better, but also important not to make one of the guitars or both imbalanced in frequencies. Don't go crazy on the bass, mid and high knobs. In reality, you need only 5 to 10% differences in both guitars. Here are the examples.
Number 3.
Next step will be to check your cab section, or rather change out the default cabs in your VST to something different. Don't get me wrong, the default cabs in Neural DSP, for example, works perfectly fine, but you can always change that out and you will get completely different tone, because a big part of your guitar tone is in fact a cab. There are a lot of free impulses out there, but also there are paid ones. I suggest you to check out these free ones, or you can try and check out these paid ones. Links for all of them will be in the description of the video. It's a whole nother thing to understand how to mic a cab and how to work with the speaker, and for that you can check out other videos on YouTube that go in depth on this topic. But usually inside the impulse response pack you will get a good selection of speaker angles to choose from. Here are the examples of how simple cab change can help your tone.
Number 2.
Next step will be to check how much gain you have on your amp section, because usually people crank up gain pretty high, and in reality you don't need to do this. Usually what you want to do is to have an overdrive before your amp section, so that will help to brighten up your signal coming to your amp section. So in the amp section you will only need to dial gain somewhere around 12 o'clock or even less. It's a simple change, but it will help you to listen to how you play it and what you're actually recording.
Number 1.
The most crucial step in defining your guitar tone is actually your hands and strings. Since your hands are basically providing the dynamics, you will need to get your playing to the proper level. That doesn't happen fast, but also with time you will understand what you can play better and what you can easily achieve. Here are the examples of sloppy playing and a normal playing. Don't forget to properly mute your strings, tighten your attack, and most importantly, don't forget to change your roll strings for new ones. I would say if you're playing a lot, it will be a good idea to change your strings at least once a month. New strings provide your tone with clarity and a better response. And here are the examples of old strings versus new strings. It might be not apparent from the video because there are too many factors at play, like compression, video conversion, etc. But in the DIs, not only you will see the difference, but you will hear it if you just listen to it. That's all for today. I hope you liked this video. All the links to the stuff will be in the description, and I see you next time.